All right, we're back on Smells Like 90's Rock. It's Shiela, Hot Toddy, and still DJ Poreless. We checked we threw a message. We threw a message his way to see if he's okay. We haven't heard anything back yet, so.
It's scary, man.
DJ Por, if you're out there, we certainly hope you're okay.
At least call in and tell us you're okay.
But for God's sakes, get in here because you're missing already the second break. So jeez.
Wow.
Slacker tonight. What were you doing in that tub? Taking so long. That was gross. So we were going to say something?
So, I let my son watch the 90s movie It.
Oh, no. With Tim Curry as the evil clown. Yes.
Okay, to preface it, everybody has to raise their children their own way. My son is 9, but he likes horror movies. Like, he's not scared of them.
Yeah.
He watches them, and he literally tries to think of ways to make it scarier. He's always been this way. Like, he might be the next Wes Craven for all I know.
He could do this. He could do it.
Because he doesn't scare him, but because he's never scared of anything. And so I, being the parent I am, was like, I want to show you something to scare you.
Yeah.
And he watched, and he wasn't scared of it at all.
Seriously.
Which bothered me, because I was
Why
like,
aren't you afraid of this?
Yes. I'm trying to scare you.
Yeah.
So when I watched it, I was maybe a few years older.
Yeah.
But it scared me.
It's a scary movie, yeah.
And so when he went to bed that night, I decided to stand by his door, and I started whispering, "They all float down here."
Oh, so you're just making it worse. Okay.
And he acted scared finally, and I was like, I've done my job as a parent.
Wow. So essentially you were jealous of his non-fear of films.
But now he's back to trying to figure out how to make it scarier.
Yeah. Now,
now he does that to me, which is creepy.
If you're not careful, he will one day find a way. He will get a recording and play it while you sleep of children laughing in the middle of the night.
Well, when he was younger, because you know my fear of children.
Yes.
Like creepy children. Because like, no one will believe you when they're bad, so you can't just shoot them.
Exactly.
You know, it'll be like, you're the bad person, even if they're demon-possessed.
Right.
And so my husband used to have my son, when he's a toddler, come up to me and say things like, "I'm hungry now, Mommy." But like, he would train him to say it in the scariest way possible, and I would freak out. And he also had this habit, because he was he was tall for his age, but he's still like a little munchkin.
Yeah.
Like when he was a toddler, of like peering around the corner and staring at you. And making no noise. And so you'd like walk towards the hallway, and you'd find this creepy little doll-like child staring at you.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Yes.
And so he was never afraid of anything, still isn't.
Right.
And I'm the scaredy cat. So I had to get him a little
You had
scared.
to get him back a little bit. Well,
just a little.
That's understandable, but oh, come on. You were just so jealous of him not being afraid of anything.
Nothing scares him. He loves the Alien movies.
Alien, really?
Yeah, loves them. I mean, he loves zombie movies. There's something about horror movies that like sparks his imagination as opposed to scaring him.
You should take him to see the new Blair Witch film.
You know, I couldn't sit through the first one really, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like the found footage.
No,
movies.
It's just not that. They try, but they don't. They don't succeed. There was only one, and for God's sakes, I can't remember the name. It's a really complicated name, but I caught it on HBO back in the day when I had HBO at my old apartment. It was a really interesting film. It was this expedition of, again, early 20-year-olds, whatever. They're underground in France, and they accidentally take some sort of oracle that's down there, and they all die, all but like 2 or 3 die horrible deaths because of this, and so they make it all the way down this. I mean, just the whole movie is them trying to find their way out, and there's this huge cave, and just horrible
Drag
things.
Me to Hell?
It's not Drag Me to Hell,
okay.
no.
I was like, I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes of that one.
No, it's not Drag Me to Hell, but they're trying to get through it's a found footage type thing.
Oh.
But they're trying to get through, and then finally, one of the girls realizes, hey, it's because we
shouldn't steal things.
It's because we took this thing. So girl runs all the way back. They go all the way through. The whole movie is them going forward, then she runs all the way back to where they started.
In like 3 seconds.
Exactly. She puts the thing back, and then she has to run back through. Now, keep in mind, there's like hands coming out of the walls. There's people, there's creatures moving around now, and things trying to get her both when she's trying to run back and when she's running back to where she was. But then eventually they find their way out, and there's like 3 survivors, and they live. But it's another one of those movies, and I did find that one pretty cool. But yeah, for the most part, no.
The first Blair Witch I saw in the theaters. Now, the reason the first Blair Witch was so popular was because, speaking of the internet, it wasn't as
They had a website.
Yeah, it wasn't
all
as
about that.
popular.
Yeah.
And so everything on the actual internet about the Blair Witch made it seem like it was real.
Yeah.
The actors had went underground for like a year or something. Like, it was ridiculous.
Right.
And so they really made it seem like this was real found footage or whatever for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with brand new internet and us not being so internet savvy and cynical.
They was able to fool us pretty well.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, this is so real. And I went to see it, and I didn't find it scary at all. I was one of the ones that found it nauseating.
Yeah, because it was nauseating with
like,
the camera.
trying to follow it or whatever. It almost gave me like vertigo.
Right.
And so I didn't enjoy it that much. But I don't think this new one, not having that internet backing it up of being real.
Yeah, it's going to flop hard, I think. It came out
because it wasn't really
today,
a good story to begin with.
No, it wasn't. I mean, of course, it boils down to, was it the Blair Witch or was it the ghost of the crazy murderer who lived in the woods?
Or was it just all in their heads?
Or was it all in their heads? Or was it the Josh guy that they keep screaming for? Did he go insane and kill them? You don't know what happened. There was no clearing up of the film at all. In the
exactly.
end. There was nothing.
Threw things at you and walked away.
Exactly, and it just was stupid. And the internet movie critic show that Poor and I watch, Half in the Bag, they did a thing called Review, where they reviewed that the original Blair Witch in anticipation of this new one coming out, and it's like, okay, so really the scariest thing in the movie is at the end, but it had nothing to do with the Blair Witch. The guy's in the corner, and the girl gets hit and she falls. Well, you find out earlier in the film that that's how the murderer would kill kids. Was he would take two kids, have one stand in the corner so he couldn't see, and kill that kid. So that's how the movie ends, is really with the murderer. So it really had nothing to do with the Blair Witch, other than that stupid symbol. You see it every few minutes in the film.
Yeah.
That was it. So it's really ridiculous. And now they're doing a second one. And that one's not.
Well, they actually had a sequel.
They did. And
it wasn't found footage.
And it didn't have anything to do really with the Blair Witch, did it?
Well,
or something like it.
They actually showed the Blair Witch in it and stuff in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it wasn't a found footage one. It was actually like a cinematic movie.
Oh.
So
I knew there was a second, but I thought it had nothing really to do with it.
Nope, it was actually just a cinematic one. Like, this is what would happen. The Blair Witch is, but it wasn't great.
No. As Above, As Below. That's the name of this film.
Okay.
And like I said, it really is interesting. If you're easily nauseated by the constant weird camera angles, you may not want to watch it. But it is the only found footage horror film that I've ever found interesting. Not Paranormal Activity or any of that crap.
Paranormal Activity just can't keep my attention because it's like, ooh, plot's moving. I'm
yeah,
like,
exactly.
breathe,
I watch.
breathe.
I can do that too. Oh, look at that.
I know. I'm like, you people obviously don't live with pets,
right?
Because this wouldn't even wake you up.
Exactly. But this is. As Above, As Below kind of has what Blair Witch promised you, but you didn't get. It has the creepy creatures.
Like, you actually
around.
see something.
Well, so it's sort of. It's like, you see it, and then you pan away, but you see something. Something has happened. You do see the hand come out from the ground, but just for a second, then you keep running because you don't want to get caught, obviously. And there are these weird creatures you see for a second, and then you go back. But it actually gives you something. It actually feeds that hunger for a second. And then goes back to whatever, but yeah, no, I'm not excited about Blair Witch. No one wants to see Blair Witch, but
it doesn't have the hype that it had when it first came out.
No, and I didn't even fall for the original
internet is too
hype.
smart.
It is, whatever.